82 here. It is time for another G.I. Joe toy review. And today we're going to be looking at one of my favorite G.I. Joes from the 1986 line, Wetsuit version 1. I know 86 is my favorite year from G.I. Joe. That's why they're right here above my head. That's all the carded 86 figures. I have a few vehicle drivers in there too. But 86 brought us some really cool vehicles and figures. But 85 is known with a lot of collectors as the golden year of G.I. Joe. That's when the line really took off. We got some huge play sets in 85. We got the USS Flag. Need I say more? The biggest play set in toy history, and I seriously doubt we'll ever see anything on that grand of scale again. 85 also gave us the ball jointed necks, so it definitely was a pivotal. Why can't I not say that word? Pivotal year for G.I. Joe. The line did take off, and it took off with a blast. I mean, boom. 85 really did do a lot for us. Hasbro realized they were on to a winner, and they went strong up until 94, and then it down the toilet because they just couldn't compete anymore. All the collectors from the 80s and 90s were growing up, and the younger kids from the 90s were getting into Ninja Turtles and other things like that. So, you know, Hasbro just threw in the towel. And it's pretty evident with a lot of their 90s figures only being released for that 1 year, where they come out with the same figure with a different paint scheme, call it version 2. You know, it got a little bit ridiculous. The vehicles definitely were cheaper and did not come with action figures. But I'll lecture more on that when I get around to reviewing a 90s figure. So, the 86 Wetsuit. What can I say about this guy? He is awesome. He made all kinds of appearances in the Sunbow series. He made his first appearance in the Special Missions issue of the comic. Let me pull that up for you. Very cool cover. It was October of that year. That was issue number 1, and he didn't have his helmet on, which was kind of interesting. But I do have some memories of him as a kid. Of course, John had him. Went over to his house on Saturday morning, and boom. Hey, I have a brand new action figure. So I figured, well, go figure. You get a new one every Friday night. And that was the truth. There was always something new the following morning. But Wetsuit, I saw him, and I just thought, man, this is the coolest figure in town. You just check that out. He was just that awesome. And here I am looking at him and realize that I don't have all of his accessories out. I apologize. Let me get on that. This stuff is always in the last place that you look. So anyway, I was just in love with this action figure from day one. Again, John and I played with him all day. We pulled out the tactical battle platform and had him out on that one with Shipwreck, and had the eels invade. And the one eel that we had between us. And it ended up being just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Of course, having John around, but being able to play with Wetsuit. But we were pretty disappointed. Even as kids, we realized this. He didn't have a weapon. The man was a SEAL, didn't have a weapon. He had a brother who was a SEAL, so he really noticed that right away. Actually, both of his brothers served in the military. But yeah, this was quite something, having him around. And after John moved, I didn't see another Wetsuit after that. It was pretty unfortunate. So anyway, so Wetsuit was released in '86 as a part of the 5th series of G.I. Joe. It's on the shelves until '88 when he was discontinued domestically. But he was recolored and packaged with Special Missions Brazil. I will not include those prices with Byron's gripes because we're just looking at version 1 and not 2, but he automatically put Special Missions Brazil on an action figure, and the price tag has 1,000% markup. His original retail price was $2.97. Not bad. Let's see. He did have a file card variant and also a card back variant. There were three card backs. One was just plain. The second one had a Sergeant Slaughter promo sticker down on the lower right hand corner, as well as one for a body transfer. In other words, tattoo, but they couldn't put tattoo on a kid's toy. Censorship had come in by that point. I called them body transfers, or even saw them called body rubs. So let me pull up pictures of those two card variants. All right, so you can see that there's one file card, or two different file cards on there. One is a darker gray than the other. One was 86, the other one was 87 release. The Sergeant Slaughter promo was for the mail away, obviously. Sergeant Slaughter, that came with the USA down, the letters USA on his right leg, more of him in his wrestling outfit. And then it came out, what's one that came with his Triple T tank. So there you have it, all of that good stuff. Let me catch my breath here, and we'll take a look at this sweet specimen of an action figure. Okay, here we go. So you can see I gave him the Battlefield Accessory Pack version of Airborne's rifle. I think it works good with him. Now, Wetsuit came with quite a few action figures, quite a few accessories. But let's take a look at his file card first. This is the file card that came with the action figure. Bought them both together. This was purchased from Sears. You can see right up there in the corner it says Sears. And I'm kind of sad that some little kid scratched out the dollar amount on there. But I'm pretty sure that said $3.49. Seeing that Sears marked their stuff up from $2.97. But a very good looking action pose on there. It comes with his, you see his sled and all that. But interesting thing, his legs are bare. But here on the back, you see the cells from the 85, 86 action figures. Pretty cool. This file card, this was, if you see H1 down in the corner, from the best I could gather, that is the second release of the action figure. So this was 1987. This is the lighter gray color. But interesting to note, there was no promo sticker anywhere on here unless it got peeled off. But pretty safe to say that if a kid peeled it off, it would peel the picture off too. So interesting that Sears didn't have the promotion of Sergeant Slaughter on there. Maybe a special deal went out with Sears action figures. Okay, meaning that they had to deal with Hasbro, saying they wouldn't do any promotions like that. Upper left hand corner reads codename Wetsuit Seals, which is acronym for Sea, Air, and Land, and they have to put the S on there to make it sound better. File name Forrest Bryan M, serial number RA701548739. That's my social security number. Hasbro. No, I'm just joking. Sounds like a social security number anyway. Okay, primary military specialty, he's a SEAL. Secondary specialty, UDT, that's underwater demolitions training, UDT. Birthplace, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. His grade is E5. SEALs are the guys who are too nasty to be airborne rangers or Marines. The Navy keeps their SEALs locked up below decks until something bad becomes worse. That's when they get dumped into the soup on a rubber raft with a knife, a gun, and ammo and explosives. All that they can carry. Sorry. Dyslexia is kicking in here. Wetsuit may just as well be the toughest one of the bunch. He's wild and unruly, but he's simply the best at what he does. Wetsuit may be mean to the bone, this is a quote at the bottom, but he's also quite bright, being well read in both the classics and standard texts of military tactics. Pretty amazing considered that the level to which he has developed his toughness would seem to indicate a full-time occupation. Yeah, I have to agree. SEALs are pretty much the toughest out of everybody of the special forces. They have to go through quite a lot of training, and they get stuck in the worst of all situations. So let's take a look at his accessories first. He came with this spotlight. Let's see if I can shut the light off if it shows up better. This is an underwater light. There's some grooves here on the front indicating a lens. Very soft strap on there. This doesn't break very often, but I'm sure you'll find them out there broken or cut off. Made out of a very soft plastic. That was one accessory we never played with. And he also came with this sled, which is a real-world piece of equipment. It pulls the diver through the water, help him save energy from swimming. Has some little gauges down here, or little propellers. And up at the top here, some more equipment. I apologize for that. It's made to be held with one hand, and it pulls him through the water. And he comes with this backpack. This is a non-rebreather backpack. Non-rebreather means that he's not breathing in any CO2. On the inside here, there's little granules. That's known as a CO2 scrubber. It looks like little pieces of cat litter. And what it does, it cleans out the CO2 and converts it into oxygen. It cleans the carbon off and just puts out the oxygen. Same thing you'll see with oxygen concentrators that you might see some guy like me on, or a middle-aged. You know what? I have one. Let me show you. Yeah, so this is one of several models of oxygen concentrators. Just turn it on, and down here inside the box are those little granules, and it scrubs out all the CO2. Or what this is doing is sucking in room air, which is 21% oxygen, and it's putting out 100% oxygen. So that's what these pretty much do. So he's just breathing his own air, and that eliminates the need for bubbles, and helps him be a little more covert. There's a handle here at the top. Well, this isn't a handle, this is an air hose. I apologize. I would not recommend putting his hand on that. And these are pegs for his air hose. And this is the hardest accessory to find intact for wetsuit. Now, most of the time these little knobs here are busted off, or the hose itself is broken. Try to get that into focus. It has two holes which fit right on to the pegs on his face, and he came with two identical. That one doesn't want to come off. Two identical fins. These are the same mold from the Cobra Eel, so you could swap those out without a problem. Same fins. And the eel was still on the market at this time too. So looking at him, he's wearing this really cool kind of a blue-gray suit, wetsuit. There's a difference between a wet and a dry suit. One is made out of canvas, and this one is made from neoprene, which is the most common out of all the diving suits. So you can see from the picture here, his legs are painted in flesh, but they filled it in right here, so it doesn't look like he's wearing shorts. He's wearing a full wetsuit. These are rubberized boots that he's wearing. He has a dive watch here on his left wrist, some equipment up on his shoulders, another watch. This is a standard watch, sorry. This is his dive watch to tell him how deep he is. A fixed helmet. Up here there would be lights in the helmet as well, and this makes it really cool. I don't mind the non-removable helmets for divers, because you could army build him. Here's the Joe's dive insignia right here. pistol on his right leg, and he has this weighted dive belt, which is supposed to have lead weights in it, and more pouches. And always found these white stripes to be pretty cool on his legs. Oh, and also a dive knife. This suit would actually blend in pretty well underwater. To my understanding, that they put a little more brighter colors on there so that you could find the diver if you need to in an emergency. But I wouldn't think you would need that for a military diver, especially when he's trying to be covert. But there you have it. He is a very clean figure, very good looking action figure. I really like this guy quite a bit. The colors are what really attracted him to me when I was a kid. I should say attracted me to him. Just kind of blends into my shirt, but great figure. I do highly recommend that you guys get one if you don't have one already. If you have one, buy a couple more. I mean, he is a great army builder, and in the cartoon they had him always wearing his wetsuit, but he had his helmet off and he had kind of curly hair. If they would have put him in like a standard uniform, the kids wouldn't have known he was wetsuit, so of course they have to keep him in that uniform all the time. Even when he went out to a nightclub with Leatherneck, who was his frenemy. I think those were guys that really secretly did care about each other, but love to hate one another. You know, Navy and Marines are always allegedly bumping heads. So, you know, they had that comedy duo in the cartoon, just like Alpine and Bazooka. They were the comedy relief. And sweat in my eye. It is a little warm. So, if you want this guy on the aftermarket, there are quite a few of them out there. His prices are all over the map, and yeah, let's just leave it at that. So here we go. Time for my favorite segment, Byron's Gripes. Yes, yes, yes. Excuse me. Goodness. I had the air conditioner on and everything. Oh, right. So I did find 3 of them on sale, for sale on yojo.com, which I don't know if you guys knew or not, but people do sell and trade on yojo.com. And you are buying directly from collectors, so you're pretty much guaranteed they're going to be complete. Anyway, these prices are coming off of eBay. For those of you just joining me, I'm not using eBay to pick on it or the sellers. It's just for the mere convenience of it. I only quote the fixed prices, never the auction prices. So here we go. You want one that's incomplete, I mean just bare bones by himself. $4.99. That one's broken. The O-ring is missing, but still I would jump on that. The shipping isn't expensive either. It's the right price for shipping, and watch out for that. This is an annoying trend that's going on. People are selling their toys at a low price but marking it up on shipping to recoup some money, and that just is not right. I would really consider that being borderline fraud. So $4.99 to $9.99. No accessories. Complete. $22.99. That's the deal of the day. To $64.99. That is really ridiculous. $64.99 for that action figure. He's not uncommon. He's not rare. Yes, the regulator tubing is harder to find, but again, it's not rare. It's not even all that uncommon. You'll find a bunch of it out there. So $64.99 is just a bit greedy. His light goes from 99 cents to $5.99 for this silly little light. It does fit in his hand fairly well, but again, I wouldn't force it. It is a softer plastic, but no, I wouldn't force that into his hand at all. So $6 for the light, no. That guy thinks he's sitting on a gold mine. Near complete with the file card, $21.99. And when I say near complete, he's missing the hose. So $21.99 to $26.99. Now, $26.99 isn't bad with the file card. And I have the file card price down here. So it's still a pretty decent price. Again, there's ones that are near complete that don't have the regulator. $13 to $14.95. So again, very good prices on those with no regulator. The ones up above, the higher priced, those do have the regulators with them, the air hose. His backpack, $1. His sled with his backpack, $3.95 to $8. The sled is a little bit harder to find, but the backpack isn't. Complete with the full card back, $34.99 to $44.99. That's pretty greedy. That's almost as bad as the $64.99. And that one doesn't come with a full card back or a file card. His file card, $5. That's on the high end of the regular asking prices. And his sled, $1. So the gem to find of this action figure is the regulator. His fins, I didn't see very many of them up for him. Those went from 99 cents to $1.99. But again, you could use the eel's fins on him. Given the price, the inexpensive accessories, I would just buy him by himself, really, and try to get the accessories all together, but watch your shipping on that. But given the higher prices of a complete action figure, you'll still fall within that range to make it normal. But to make it, I should say normal, those prices just aren't normal. They're a little out there. This just lost my train of thought. This whole trend right now with the shipping, people increasing the shipping, is wrong. So please watch out for that. I would hate to see any of you guys get burned on shipping. That's another reason why I'm including these prices. And if the shipping isn't insane, I'll let you know. But seriously, if you want this guy, or if you want to army build him, buy him by himself, buy the accessories separately. You'll save a little bit of money outside of buying one complete, unless you want a complete action figure right off the bat. The guy that I bought him from was in state. He was a little bit older. I met up with him. I bought this 2 years ago. I met up with him because we lived pretty close, and we met at like McDonald's or something, and he delivered them in person, and that saved me on shipping. But he was older when he purchased this, so this was the exact same file card that came with the action figure. He said he didn't play with them at all. He would just open them up and display them on his shelf. This is like brand new. I mean, his joints are very tight. I don't remember exactly how much I paid for him, but he is almost mint. So I'm very proud to have that as a part of my collection. And unfortunately, I don't remember his name, or I would give him kudos for that. So there you have it, guys. There's Wetsuit. I just love that action figure. Any of the divers I absolutely love. I have a lot of divers, especially the more obscure ones I really like. You know, like Hydro Viper. He's pretty cool. So Wetsuit was a big part of my childhood. So there are a lot of fond memories of him. And I've been getting a lot of feedback on last week's review of Black Star. A lot of people didn't know he existed. And frankly, I didn't either for quite a few years. Forgot anyway. After reviewing him, during the review, I remembered, hey, you know, I do remember seeing him on the shelf, but I had forgotten all about him. He's a very forgettable figure. If I were a child, probably not. I probably wouldn't have forgotten about him. But a lot of people are saying they didn't remember him. And, you know, he was right at the very end of the vintage line. They stopped for like 95 and 96. They stopped making the 3 3/4 inch GI Joes. I think that's when they went with I just had his name, the GI Joe that was frozen, and they brought him back. He's frozen from World War II, and they brought him back, and he fought a guy named Krieger who worked with Cobra Commander, blah blah blah. I have a few of those action figures, but that filled the gap for a little bit. Then they brought GI Joe back in '97, a 3 3/4 inch, and that started the modern line, because the aforementioned line did not take off as well as they had anticipated. But I still like them. They're pretty cool. The first thing I noticed is their articulation was just terrible. It was, and that turned me off, so I didn't buy any more after that. I bought one, and that was the one that came with the videotape, and I learned the VHS tape, and I learned about that specific toy line, and it was a cool cartoon. So yeah, back to Black Star. He, like I said, he was at the very end, and they discontinued the line after that. They had some animals that were supposed to be released but weren't. So if you find them animals out on the aftermarket, there are some that did hit the shelves, but very limited number, and you're going to pay upwards of $1,500 for a carded manimal. Just be aware. So that is one I definitely will never buy unless I see him dirt cheap at a thrift store or something. Um, yeah, so 94 was the last line, and Black Star, I just love that action figure. The colors are very zany, especially they were especially mild for the 90s. So there you have it, guys. There's my review. I hope you liked it. Please give this a thumbs up if you so choose to. I would greatly appreciate it. I know that people at the YouTube office pay close attention to that to see how well people are responding to my content. Also leave me a comment. I do answer back. I love hearing from you guys. If you want to shoot me an email, my email address is down at the bottom. If you want to become a channel supporter, you could do one of two ways. One, you could make a donation to this channel. You could donate a action figure, comic, anything G.I. Joe related to this channel. My mailing address will be down at the bottom. That will put you up in the ranks of the channel supporters. Also, you could check out my coffee account. Again, that'll be down in the description as well. Any monetary donation will put you up there with the rest of the put you in the ranks as well. Again, it's not required. I don't expect it, but it is very nice when I do see that. It makes me feel good seeing that. And one of my channel supporters pointed out that there was something not quite right with the last donation I got from the anonymous donor, the microphone for Heavy Metal and Dusty's bipod. He said they didn't look right, and he was absolutely correct. I realized that after all the emotion went away, and I looked it up, and they were reproductions, which I am totally cool with. I do not mind reproductions at all. To me, that completes the action figure. The microphone for Heavy Metal was actually a tan color, and I have paint to match that, so I will paint that and plug it into him, and I will never sell him, obviously, and will not claim him as being 100% complete. That just would not be right. So yes, thank you for pointing that out, Vinny. I do really appreciate that. Very good eye on your part, and thanks for looking out for me. But nonetheless, I mean, customs are just fantastic. People are nailing them. They're doing a very good job on customizing, and I think that's going to be the future trend on your 3 3/4 inch G.I. Joes are the customs. Going to have the big names out there that are, you know, Black Major and Red Laser Army, and the people who are customizing the accessories. Just be careful of it. Some people may try to pass them off as being the real deal, which I can't say that the person who donated attempted to do that. He didn't even include a letter. Those, you know, did a phenomenal job on it. So I do greatly appreciate that. Very nice thought went in behind that, and you know, I won't forget something like that anytime soon. So there you have it, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. I have the greatest bunch of viewers out there. You guys really make my day when I hear from you, especially seeing your comments. That's something I really look forward to. So this is Joe Motion Videos 82 signing off. Guys, take care of yourselves. Be safe out there. Always be kind to everyone, especially be kind to animals. We'll talk to you later. We'll see you next week for another awesome G.I. Joe toy review. Bye-bye.